ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनरेशभु कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनंद सांबरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। ओम वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्रितं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। योग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। हम लोग निर्वाण प्रकरण का उत्तरार्ध योग वशिष्ठ उत्तरार्ध का आखिर जो हिस्सा, दो हिस्सा है उत्तरार्ध। निर्वाण प्रकरण दो हिस्सा में है, तो उसका पूर्वार्ध और उत्तरार्ध है। उत्तरार्ध में हम 19वां जो सर्ग का आलोचना कर रहे हैं, उसमें समष्टि जीव और व्यष्टि जीव का आलोचना कर रहे थे। इसमें जो जीव है, जीव कैसा बना उसको हम देख रहे थे कल। You are new. We are discussing in Yoga Vasistha. This is a text of essence of all the highest philosophy of India. In that we are discussing about the cosmic being, universal being, and the individual being. Its definition and identity and its we can say composition, how it is built up, all these. कल हम जो देख रहे थे, अनंत व्यापक जो चेतन ब्रह्म है, चेतन अनंत हैं और व्यापक हैं, और ब्रह्म शब्द से कहा गया। वही अपने संकल्प से, पहला हुआ संकल्प, प्राण द्वारा जीव यूँ व्यवहृत होकर जीव रूप को लेकर के, जीव नाम को धारण करके व्यवहार के लिए तथा चक्षु आदि द्वारा दूसरा चित नाम वाला होकर, चक्षु मतलब जो देखता है, देखता मतलब इधर कभी नहीं लेना कि सिर्फ आँख से देखता है, इंद्रियों से देखा जाता है, सारे 5 ज्ञानेंद्रियों से जो देखा गया उसके द्वारा चित्त नाम को भी धारण किया, दूसरा रूप ले लिया। जीव यों व्यवहार होकर तथा चक्षु आदि द्वारा दूसरा चित्त नाम वाला होकर, जीव शब्द से कहा जाता है दोनों मिल करके, चित्त के साथ, प्राण के साथ, चक्षु के द्वारा ये जीव नाम को धारण किया। और वह हंताहमिमास्ति भ्रमो देवता अनेन जीवेनात्मनानुप्रविश्य नाम रूपे व्याकरणवाणी इत्यादि श्रुति में प्रदर्शित निजी संकल्प द्वारा अपने से प्रकाशित होने वाले सूक्ष्म भूत रूप उपाधि में प्रवेश से उसके स्तंभक प्राणों के धारण से, उसको स्तंभित करने वाला प्राण, स्तंभक प्राणों के धारण से तथा जीव प्राण धारणे, जीव शब्द का बनावटी अनेक किस्म से हुआ है। जीवती इति जीव, जो चलायमान होता है उसको जीव कहते हैं, और जीव जो प्राण धारण करता है, प्राण मतलब जो एक चलन शक्ति को चेष्टा प्रदान करता है, मतलब एक मोमेंटम देता है, एक शुरुआत करता है, उसको प्राण कहते हैं। हर चीज़ के अंदर वो एक मोमेंटम, उसको हम कहेंगे स्पंदन पैदा करता है, वो प्राण है। उसको धारण करने से प्राणी हुआ और जीव नाम भी धारण हुआ। प्राण धारणे जीव, प्राण को धारण करता है, प्राण मतलब ये हुआ, गति का प्राप्त हुआ, चेष्टा को प्राप्त हुआ। पहले तो स्थिर था, स्थिर में अस्थिरता को हम जब देखते हैं उसी का नाम जीव पड़ जाएगा, और वो अति सूक्ष्म है, और उसका जो शुरुआत है उसी को प्राण नाम दिया गया। और वो अपने आप को मैं हूँ, कल इसी को हम विचार कर रहे थे, मैं तो हूँ को अपने आप हूँ करके मानना, उसी में एक द्वैत का पैदा हुआ, उसी का नाम इच्छा शक्ति। मैं मुझे देखूं अथवा मैं मुझे जानूं, मैं मुझे देखूं मुझे जानूं, तो दो शुरू हुआ वहीं से। उसका शुरू होने से उसको चित्त भी कहते हैं, अपने आप जानना, इसलिए चित्त नाम पड़ा। और प्राण है मतलब उसमें गति पैदा हुआ, परिवर्तन पैदा हुआ, इसीलिए उस हालत को लेकर के पहला जो जीव हुआ उसको समष्टि जीव कहेंगे। बाद में जो अनेकता में विभाजित हुआ उसको हम व्यष्टि जीव कहेंगे। ये साधारण अर्थ समझ जाओ। If there is a balanced state, just as the surfacial water, nothing is seen on the surface of the water. Water is always water. It is always water when it is absolutely in a balanced state. If the moment it gets imbalanced, somehow or other, because of any cause, if it gets imbalanced, then it will have something different. It will be different than the absolute balanced state. So that different state of the same is, we call it ripples or waves or tides. It goes on becoming many different forms, and every form will have some name. It is by imbalancing the balanced state. Maybe some cause, that cause itself is there within it. And that cause, when it is seen, we call it prana, or the momentum given to it, the tendency to change or to get differentiated from the own balanced state. So that is called prana, means the, in English क्या कहेंगे हम? Life force. Vital force. Yes, vital force, life force, or life principle. We can say life principle. Life principle means to get imbalanced. That imbalanced state is seen as one becomes many. First one becomes two, then two becomes four. In that way, with geometrical ratio, it goes on multiplying. And that's how one becomes many. And that becoming many is seen differently by different philosophers, or we can say basically it is seen by itself, because there was nothing else other than the absolute balanced state. So the existence of that balanced state, it sees itself as many. That seeing many is called nature. It's nature. And that nature is described, or it is defined in different many ways. That many becoming many means multiplying, is also changing, and that also creating difference between every two. Then only it can change. And that also, एक शब्द हम प्रयोग किए हैं, स्तंभक प्राण. Stambhak prana means that prana becomes, that life principle becomes the holder of all these multiplicatory process. That is the central point. So it becomes the axis of all the changes. all the changes go around it in 360 degree into power 360 into power infinite. In all directions it has to multiply and grow, and that is known as the evolution process. The life's journey, change, creating difference, multiplying, all these. From different angle we see it, the same process, and name it differently. So in this way, when the first starting of the magnification, multiplying process, the first one is called the universal or cosmic being, which gets multiplied within itself. Nothing is beyond itself because it is all-pervading absolute existence. So there cannot be any second one without it. So whatever happens, it happens within it. For example, if the ripples or tides or any other modifications happens in the water, then it is water only. Water does not hold anything other than itself. No other form it can hold. It is only water. The ripples are water, the waves are water. Only the form and the according to form and its modificatory process, that is we call actions and reactions, changes. According to that it gets the name. What for name is given? For relative transaction. For relative transaction. Relative transaction means to see, to hear, or to transfer one into other, that is called transaction. Relatively, if there are two, then only it is possible. In one, it is not possible. So in this way, the absolute becomes the being, universal being, and that universal being becomes individual beings within itself. This is what we saw yesterday. वशिष्ठ जी कहते हैं, भद्र, जो परम अणुरूप नहीं है, जो स्थूल नहीं है, जो न शून्य स्वरूप है, जो शून्य आकाश के अंतर्गत है, जो चिन्मात्र अनुभव स्वरूप है और सर्वत्र व्यापक है, वही जीव कहलाता है। फिर जीव का अलग अलग ढंग से स्वरूप बतलाते हैं, उसका रूप कैसा, ताकि हम अच्छी तरह समझें जीव किसको कहेंगे। अब भी आप जीव के अंदर हमारा जो साधारण एक मानसिकता है, हम जो समझ रखें निर्जीव, सजीव, living beings or non-living beings, all these are much afterwards. Don't bring all these different definitions in between here. We shall go on classifying, and then living being or non-living beings, or how are they, all those classifications will be afterwards. Now we are discussing the first stage of starting, how it starts. So he says that absolute one, it is neither smallest molecule nor it is the biggest gross identity. We cannot say anything on this. And if we see on one point, it is the smaller than the smallest molecule, atom, and smaller than the atom, go on dividing as much as you can, but yet there will be presence of the object. Presence will be there. You cannot deny the presence. So there will be no words to define it or to identify it. No names we can give. So in this way we have to say smaller than the smallest. And similarly, when we see it at a time, everything together, then there is no limit to it. So it is greater than the greatest or grosser than the most gross object. Because there is no limit to it. It is absolute existence. So it will be smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest, and neither the smallest nor the biggest, जो न शून्य स्वरूप है, nor it is the void. We cannot say it is nothing because it is. So we cannot say it is nothing. जो शून्य आकाश से अंतर्गत है, and whatever we think to be void, nothing, we have some idea as nothing. In that nothing also this everything exists. Because if you say nothing exists, that existence you cannot deny. So in that way, that existence exists in nothing. आकाश के अंतर्गत भी है, जो शून्य नहीं है और शून्य के अंदर भी है, जो चिन्ह मात्र है, which is absolutely awareness or knowledge, that is अनुभव स्वरूप है. It is experienced by itself. So it is the real experience, state of experience. To understand this, we have to forget everything and come to your own self. Do you feel you exist or not? Anything on this visible world, if something is there, it does exist, then only we can say it is. So existence is there in all conditions. It cannot be denied, and that existence is experienced by the existing object. Just as you feel I am, when you want to express it, it becomes modified or it becomes polluted by other agencies for expression. Or else, without expression, you are aware of your existence, your being. That is called experiential knowledge, experience of the existence, which is not expressed yet. If you want to express it, then it will not that which is experienced. If you want to express it, expression is between the two. One is expressed, other is expression, the expressor, one who expresses and it is expressed, and then somebody holds the expression or observes the expression. These triads have to be there. Just as we see seer, seeing process, and the seen object. Similarly, doer, doing process, and the done object. In this way, everywhere this triad is there when something is expressed. Without this, the expression is impossible. So when you want to express yourself, then you are not yourself what is experienced by yourself. You are something else.
So silence is the purest one.
Absolute silence is the absolute experience. Silence is the language, real language of the truth, which is experienced by itself. When it starts expressing, then all these triads have to be there. So it gets polluted. It is not the reality. Suppose you are thinking something. If you want to speak, then only it is expressed. When the thought gets modified into speech, how many changes it goes on? How many changes it has to undergo? When the thought becomes a sound, a word which is expressed, we call it speech, then so much changes have to happen. Yes, and that thought also is a process only. Thought means the wave. Thought waves, we say. Thought means a vibratory process. Vibration means the imbalanced state. Spandan, a wave is created. If one wave is created, which is imbalanced state of the balanced state, then it has to create other imbalance. It creates imbalancing in around it. So it goes on multiplying. In this way, thought also is not original, it is modified position of the balanced state. So one wave, it gives rise to the other wave. In this way, the multiplicatory process goes on. Within this, the process of expression also happens. One is expressed to the other. Understood? So, experience which is, we can call a balanced state. When it is expressed, it has to change. And this change is not the reality. उसी को वह कह रहा है जो अनुभव स्वरूप है और सर्वत्र व्यापक है. It is all pervading, existing everywhere at all conditions. वही जीव कहलाता है. that alone is called the being, which undergoes all the changes within itself. In this way only we start by telling, we start the creation by telling, I am one, let me be many. This is the exact expression of all the highest scriptures. I am one, let me be many, let me see myself as many. It happens within itself, and that is called individual beings, and everything is within itself, and that also the whole process is called creative process. Creative process. Creation is nothing but one becoming many. कुछ समझ में आया? थोड़ा बहुत आएगा तो चले भी जाएगा। क्या करें? क्योंकि हम कभी ऐसा सोचते नहीं, हम हमेशा अनेकता में व्यवहार करते हैं, एक को भूल जाते हैं। वो तो अनुभव है, हम हमेशा एक्सप्रेशन में लगे रहते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ द्वैत में हमेशा हमारा जिंदगी चलता है। इसीलिए हमको वो अनुभवात्मक ज्ञान को ध्यान में रखना यह असंभव हो जाता है। उसको जीव कहते हैं और उसी का नाम द लाइफ प्रोसेस, एवोल्यूशन प्रोसेस or the journey of life, or we can say nature, ever growing, ever modifying, ever growing nature, ever growing time, ever growing space, everything, whatever, in many different ways we see this and we express it to each other. Each other means within one. You are in the womb of the Absolute One, and that is how it is called the golden womb, Hiranyagarbha, only one. You cannot make it two, and that's how it will be ever existing, eternal existence and continuity, or absolute equilibrium, or everywhere present in all conditions, and it is neither nothing nor everything. And yet it is everything, and yet it is nothing. Whatever we say, the basic understanding should be whatever we say, it is only an expression which is not the truth. Whatever we say, whatever we hear, whatever we perceive by our senses, everything is expression process. One expresses, other perceives it within itself. Just as I see my hand, it is within myself. If I am the whole total body, if I see my hand, it is within myself. I see myself within myself. It is not outside. This is how the whole total one cannot be outside it. And whatever words we use, they are meaningful only when we have relationship or transactions, expressions, then only it has some meaning for some time, in some condition. Whatever we mean now, it will be different afterwards. Whatever is expressed here, it will be different at different place, in different conditions, different time. Everything differs. So it cannot be the reality. Ji?
It's like this. If we say expression is unstable,
Expression is
it's not stable.
not
Stable.
stable, yes.
If
It is a process.
It is a process.
Yes.
Let us look at what we are doing here. Without this process, this realization will never set in.
No. Realizing the truth means to be balanced, no expression. One who knows the truth, he cannot say, I know. The moment you say, I know, you don't know.
I agree. Water is still. If it
Yes,
something, it
the balance gets imbalanced. So how can you say it?
I agree, sir. So what is my is unless you express it, the person who is in front of you, he will not be able to perceive and know it. So the state of stability can only come to another person through a process of instability. That is what I saw.
How it happens, yesterday I told you, by indication, by indicating. It is not direct, it is indirect. When I say, pointing my finger towards the tree, see, there is a beautiful bird sitting there. You forget my finger, the indicator, but you look at the object it is indicated. So, all these expressions, all these language or words, whatever we express, all these are only indicative process. So, one has to indicate. In relative world, one has to indicate to the other. Then only the target is seen, and once it is seen, then there is no need of any expression. No expression is required.
Love in silence is more powerful.
That's how silence is all expressing language. तभी तो कहा मौनम सर्वार्थ साधकम. मौन रह जाएंगे तो सब कुछ हो जाएगा अपने आप. The nature will do the needful. If you keep quiet, real quiescence, that means you should not even think, not think to express even. That is called kastha mauna. To be silent just like a log of wood. नहीं होगा. So the expression of the experience happens by the language or by the words. The word gets vibrated in the heart of heart, the core of the heart, which is absolutely balanced. Neither we can say it is nothing, nor we can say it is everything. It is the absolute existence. When that gets imbalanced, vibrated, then those vibrations start expressing itself. So in different phases, we call it para, pasyanti, the absolute nearness to the balanced state is called para. And then the second phase becomes little grosser, little away from the center or balanced state. That is called pasyanti. Then upansu. It gets vibrated within it, but it is not expressed. And when we try to say something, before saying, we know it, we are aware of it, we hear it, without opening the mouth. We can talk also to ourselves. We do japa and talk to ourselves. That is called mental talking. That is the greatest barrier in meditation. We go on talking to ourselves. Nobody hears it. Nobody knows it. So when it is expressed by mouth, it has to undergo so many changes. Then only it is expressed as sound, audible sound. And that audible sound also, human beings' language is different from animal language. Animal language will be different from birds' language, insects' language, and the trees, plant life, they have also language. They express themselves. You know, the honey bees, they are the most intelligent insects. They express their feelings to each other in a very effective way by dance. By moving their legs and wings. They will have 4 wings and 6 legs.
How can it be seen?
By moving their legs and wings, just as we express our feelings by body language, we also express. That is common in all the beings. Body language. One tree speaks with the other tree. When you go to cut a branch of a tree, it feels afraid and it expresses its fear. But you cannot see it because you are so habituated to express everything grossly. And yogis, they communicate. Expression means communicating methods. So they communicate with all the beings. They can talk to the plants. They can communicate with the insects or birds or animals. Their language is so subtle. Everybody, so many examples we have. Sai Baba, Ramana Murthy, Gurudev, Swami Shivanji Maharaj, बिना बोले बिना कहे बहुत कुछ काम करते थे, क्या नहीं करते थे. And this way the yogis are said to do 100 actions at a time. 100 actions at a time. You also can do many things at a time. While eating, you can see and speak also. You can hear also. So many things at a time. So why not the yogis? Inward expression, outward expression, bodily expression, sound expression, everything can be at a time. So only who have got the control over all these process, they can exercise all these. In this way,
is that dependent on the amount of harmony that one has, Swamiji, with the universe?
yes, yes, yes. अच्छा, जो सूक्ष्माति सूक्ष्म वस्तुओं से भी सूक्ष्म है, जो गुरुतर वस्तुओं में सबसे बढ़ चढ़ कर गुरुतर स्थूलतम है, जो तुच्छ रूप नहीं है और जो सर्वात्मक है, उसी को पंडित लोग जीव कहते हैं. The wise man define that as the being which is grosser than the grossest and subtler than the subtlemost and heavier than the heaviest, and which is not nothing, and which is all pervading and ever existing. The wise men call that existence to be a being. तो उसको हम कभी और कितने भाषा में भी बोलते हैं. Some say that is called the absolute matter, वस्तु. वस्तु नाम से हम बोलते हैं, जीव नाम से बोलते हैं. प्राणी नाम से भी बोलते हैं, कितनी नाम से हम बोलते हैं.
From a relative point of view, prana and pranava.
प्रणव.
Prana and pranava. So should we understand from relative point of view, logically they are the same, or the origin of prana is out of prana?
There is relationship, there is connection. Prana and pranava. Pranava is known as the primordial, the first syllable sound Om. Pranava. The first sound. What is expressed? Before expression, it was, it has to be. Because now itself we saw the expression is nothing but a process, a changing process. So when it has started changing in the very beginning, there we call it in different terms. It is called prana also. Prana means the vital energy, or the life principle, or we can call it sound also, we can call it nature also. In many ways we have named it, and from sound point of view, we call it, or mind point of view, we call it medha, pragya, we call it intuition, or memory, or impression. In this way we name it for our understanding. So these words are, these terms are very complicated. So when you think, analyze or discuss, you have to take all-round vision. If you see it from one side, the other side is not seen. So you are partially understanding, you have no real understanding. You have to see everything at a time from all round vision. Then only you can understand something. And that understanding also is haphazard, because understanding is a process. When you give up the process, then only you can experience, realize the truth. Experience the truth. When you give up all the process, so on this only the Eastern philosophy, Indian philosophy says, don't search, you will find. And Western philosophy says, search, you will find. Search, you will find. Understood?
Search within, you find out.
Yes, that is true. From one sense. From other sense, don't search, you will find it. Don't use any process. Process is a faulty process. Process is faulty. It cannot be correct. So don't find, don't search, don't think, don't try. So that is absolute silence or keeping quiet. But that is impossible for beings like us. We are always in a moving state. Mind is moving, the senses are moving. We try to understand, we cannot give up understanding. We have to express, we have to understand. All these have become our self. We cannot but try to understand everything. That's how the questions arise, and nobody is found without any questions. Everybody of us have questions, innumerable questions, not one or two. Why questions? When there will be two, then only there will be question. There will be doubt. How is what? Comparison, relationship. Then when you concentrate on one, the other is forgotten. So naturally there will be confusion and there will be doubts. If this is sin, how it is this? How it is so? Why it is so? Then you have to compare with the other. It is small because it is big. Without comparison you cannot say it, you cannot hold it, you cannot understand it. So that goes on relating or connecting between two, and that's how some temporary, momentary decision is taken. Those decisions are called understanding, and that is temporary only, momentary, because it goes on changing. So what you know, that is subject to change. Don't be proud of your knowledge. Your knowledge is nothing. It's good for nothing. Whatever you know, it is relative knowledge. It is subject to change, subject to grow. Whatever you knew yesterday, today you have known something else. Tomorrow you will know something else. It goes on increasing, enhancing, changing. So how can you claim whatever you know it is right, worth having it? You yourself deny it. Can you say whatever knowledge you had 10 years back, it is the same today? Whatever you knew in your childhood, it is same today? Can you say so? So how can you claim whatever you know today is right? That's how the scientists also change. Whatever they declare today, after 10 years it has become old theories. It is changed. Huh?
जुपिटर मून्स
Jupiter?
जुपिटर के चांद 9 ही बता रहे थे,
हाँ,
80 हो गए.
some years ago, when I was studying science, Jupiter had 10 moons and Saturn had 9, Neptune had 4, and Mars had 2, and Earth has 1. But now the numbers have been changed. So they find out new moons for Jupiter, for Neptune. So everything changes. If your knowledge is changing, you cannot claim what you know it is right. No. By no means you can say, I know. In this way, somehow or other we have to understand the being as something or other. वो क्या सेंटेंस था जो हम कहे थे, क्या कहते हैं, किसको बीइंग कहेंगे हम, या नहीं तो किसको हम नेचर कहेंगे, या किसको हम मैं कहूँगा, मैं. समथिंग इज समथिंग और अदर in some way or other, at some place or other, at some time or other, in some condition or other, is taken as something or other. That is called I, or my knowledge, or the being, or the creation. It changes. So nothing we can say. So the last decision, the last final is to keep quiet, which is not possible for ordinary beings, because we are, all of us, in a process. We are the subject of the process, object of the process. So when you stop your process, then you will find out the truth. अब वही कह रहा है कि पंडित लोग जीव किसको कहते हैं. ये जीव के ऊपर बहुत झगड़ा चलता है. एक बार ऐसे ही हुआ था, मैं कहा जीव, कैसे जीव, व्हाट अकॉर्डिंग टू माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग, आई टोल्ड, when the unlimited gets limited somehow or other, by form, it creates a form. Ayatanavan bhavati. It gets a volume, it gets a form. So that is called being. And it has a name. It has to have a name. Only for relative transaction. To behave with it, we have to name it as something. The sound itself becomes the object. Sound itself becomes the name. Sound becomes form. Sound becomes name. And that vibratory process is related with each other. So form will have a name. And that's how we can express our feelings and ideas with each other. That is how we have been habituated. तो मैं कहा कि असीम को सीमित करना ही जीव कहा गया, उसका एक रूप होगा, उसका नाम जीव पड़ा। असीम को सीमित करना, चाहे आइडिया से हो, चाहे शब्दों से हो, चाहे रूप से हो, असीम को सीमांकन किया गया, तभी उसको जीव कहा। तो स्वामी जी एक थे, वो मेरे साथ झगड़ पड़े। वो हर रोज़ आते थे योग वशिष्ठ सुनने के लिए। स्वामी जी आप शास्त्र नहीं पढ़े हैं। मैं कहा वो तो बात सही है, मैं नहीं पढ़ा हूँ, मैं नहीं पढ़ा हूँ, लेकिन मैं जो समझा हूँ ऐसे ही समझा हूँ। लोग कहते हैं मैं सुनता हूँ, पढ़ा नहीं कुछ, और नहीं पढ़ूंगा करके कसम खा रखा हूँ। पढ़ना किस लिए? I got an idea from Gurudev's saying. I read the sentence, an ounce of practice is better than, greater than, better than tons of theories. So it touched my heart. I was so keen in reading. If I get such a big volume of book, unless and until I complete it, I cannot have sleep, nor I can have food, nor drink. I had so much interest in reading. And once I read, I remember everything. My whole soul is there concentrated in. That was my habit. And when I got to know this, ounce of theory, ounce of practice is greater than tons of theories. I promised to myself, I will not study anymore. But somehow or other my parents forced me. For some time I was studying. Or else I had no interest to read. For example, there is a story. You know, Kauravas were 100 brothers and Pandavas were 5. Together they were under the education process in a Guru's house, and they were studying in Guru's house. And the royal inspector, somebody was sent to see what is going on, what the children are doing, see. So the inspector went to the school, means the house of Gurukul, and he was taking interview by putting some questions, how much the students have studied and how much they have learnt. Let me see. So he went on asking questions to all the children, one after another. How much you have studied? Somebody said, Guruji, I have studied this much, up to 14th page of the book, first book. Somebody said, I have completed the first book. Second book I have started. Somebody said in some way, and the inspector went on putting questions, and they were answering to their ability, understanding. And in the end, the cleverest was, most brilliant student was Yudhishthir. His mind is always steady. Yudhishthira was the most brilliant student among all those children. So in the end, inspector comes to Yudhishthira and asks, Yudhishthira, yes Guruji, how much you have studied? Can I put some questions? So Yudhishthira said, Guruji, I am trying to learn the first sentence of the first book and I am not able to proceed further. So it was a wonderful experience for the inspector. What? You are the most brilliant student and you are telling like this? No, no, Guruji, I am telling this truth. What is that sentence? Could you not understand till now? No, I am trying to understand it. What is that sentence? Speak the truth. This sentence, first sentence is speak the truth. Satyam vada. Satyam vada. उसके बाद धर्मम चरा. फिर आएगा अतिथि देवो भव. Satyam vada. Speak the truth. That I am trying to learn. Till now I have not understood it. Because it is not so easy to speak the truth. And what is the definition of truth? Truth is defined by different definers in different many ways. They say, whatever you know, you must express it as it is, that is called truth. Some say. Some others say, no, you must express it which is suitable and not harmful for others. If it is harmful, it creates some disturbance to others, then that is not called truth. That should not be spoken. Priyam priyat. Ma priyat satyam apriyam. Because it is appealing to others, don't speak the lie which is not there. Yes. So it is very hard to express which is appealing to everyone. Everyone. Nothing can be appealing to everyone. If you like it, he will not like it. So how can you please everyone? It is not easy a job to speak the truth. Another story. Once Yajnavalkya, the great saint, was conducting a class. About 10,000 students were sitting in the class. याज्ञवल्क्य जी का 10,000 शिष्य थे. बड़े भारी ज्ञानी पुरुष. याज्ञवल्क्य जी का शास्त्र में, पुराणों में सब जगह पर नाम आता है. बड़े ब्रह्मज्ञानी थे. हैं? हाँ, बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद और गार्गी मैत्रेयों को क्या नहीं समझाए वो, और क्या त्याग, क्या ज्ञान का गंभीरता. तो उनके पास 10,000 चेले बैठ के जंगल में क्लास ले रहे हैं. कोई 2 राजाओं का लड़ाई चल रहा था. 2 kings were fighting against each other somewhere. And one was defeated, one was winner. The winner tried to kill the defeated king. The defeated king tried to run away from the winner. So he was running and he was trying to persuade him or cheat him. So somehow or other he entered into the jungle and he reached there where Jagyamalkya ji was taking class, the defeated king. Now, all of a sudden, the winner was chasing him, running behind him to kill him, because नीति कहता है दुश्मन को कभी नहीं छोड़ना. आग, दुश्मन और आग, अग्नि, दुश्मन और रोग, इनको जड़ से उखाड़ के फेंकना, थोड़ा भी नहीं छोड़ना. अगर थोड़ा छोड़ दोगे ये फिर बढ़ करके तुम्हारा सत्यानाश कर देंगे. रोग, शत्रु और अग्नि, हाँ जी, इसको नहीं छोड़ना. तो वो कहा मेरा दुश्मन को मारूंगा, आई हैव टू किल माई enemy. So he was changing and having little time in between. This defeated king threw off his dress and dressed up as a brahmachari, as a disciple, and entered into the midst of the class silently, and he was sitting there. So the winner king was changing him, and he found out, he came and he saw the enemy sitting in the class. He could not dare enter there because this Yajnavalkya was a great, great saint. He could do and undo anything and everything. So he was afraid of Yajnavalkya. It is not efficacy to disturb the class. So he was standing outside and waiting for the end of the class. When the class ends, he approaches the great saint Yajnavalkya. He says, "Oh saint, please give me my enemy back, as I will not leave him." So Yajnavalkya says, "Oh fool, there is no enemy here. Your enemy is not here." Yajnavalkya saw it, he knows it, but yet he says, "Your enemy is not here. Go back." The king was annoyed. He was red with anger. What, being a great saint, you are speaking lie? Is it called righteousness? Is it called the conduct of good conduct? How do you speak lie? So Yajnavalkya laughed at him. "My dear, you are a king. Your enemy will be only a king. There is no king in my class. A brahmachari is there which cannot be your enemy. That is what I understand. So I didn't lie. You are not able to understand what is called truth. You don't know what is truth. How can a brahmachari be this enemy of a king? He has left his enmity with you mentally, and he has become a brahmachari. That's how he has come here and entered into the class. Mentally, physically, he is no more a king. And he is no more your enemy. Get out. So this is how the truth is understood by different seers, different expressors of truth, definer of truth. Many ways the truth is defined. So in this way, Yudhishthira said, I am trying to learn it. Maybe whole life I have to learn this. This is my end of my education. The first lesson I have to learn the whole life, speak the truth. And that is what he failed. नरेवा गुंजरे अश्वत्थमा तक कह करके वो उसमें फेल हो गए। तो सत्य तो यही तो बात है। तो फिर ये जो थ्योरी है और प्रैक्टिस है, गुरुदेव ऐसे ही कहे कि प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए। वट एवर यू नो, यू हैव नोन सो मच थ्योरीज, इट इज एनफ माय डियर। हाउ मच मोर थ्योरीज यू हैव टू accumulate? What use of it if you don't practice it? If I say water can quench your thirst, but I don't give water, you don't drink water, can you get any benefit out of it? Unless you practically do the theory is useless. When it is practiced, when it has been taken into process, practice, then only theory is called theory, useful, or else useless. Why to have so much theories? So this is how, what I mean to say, what we know, enough we have known, but we have to experience it. Anyhow, जीव की सर्वव्यापकता को अनुभव पर चढ़ाते हैं। तो मैं वही जो कह रहा ना, वो महात्मा जी बोले कि तुम पढ़े नहीं। मैं कहा कि मैं क्या पढ़ा हूँ, मैं पढ़ा नहीं, कुछ नहीं पढ़ा हूँ। जीव को मैं जो समझा मैं बोला, आप जो समझे आप अपने जगह पर ठीक है। उसी दिन से वो क्लास में आना छोड़ दिए। ये मूर्खों के क्लास में क्या जाना।
पंडित का काम नहीं
है,
पंडित लोग काम नहीं है।
पंडितों का क्लास मूर्खों के साथ क्या जरूरत है? जो पंडित है उसको क्या सीखना है? फिर मूर्ख ही तो सीखते हैं। और मूर्ख ही बोलते हैं, मूर्ख ही सुनते हैं।
गड़ा भर दिया, मैं पंडित है करके गड़ा भर दिया, पानी डाला तो नहीं सूखेगा।
जी, तो पंडित लोग ऐसा कहते हैं। जीव का डेफिनेशन, द वाइज मैन डिफाइन द बीइंग एज सच। जीव का सर्वव्यापकता को अनुभव पर चढ़ाते हैं। जीव को हम अनुभव कैसे करेंगे? हाउ टू एक्सपीरियंस द बीइंग। अनुभव करना कैसे, उसका प्रोसेस अभी बताएंगे। वी शैल डिस्कस नाउ हाउ टू एक्सपीरियंस द थ्योरी। Theory we have known it till now, what is called being, what is called individual being and the universal being. But how to know it to its inner sense, how to experience it, how to understand to its depth, how to understand it. जिस पदार्थ का जो असाधारण स्वरूप है, उस पदार्थ में उस रूप से स्थित उसी जीव की जीव को ही आप जानिए। इसीलिए उस पदार्थ के रूप में जीव ही भासमान होता है, क्योंकि बार बार देखने पर तत्त पदार्थों के आकार में ही उसका अनुभव होता है। यह काट्य नियम है। तात्पर्य यह है कि घट और चक्षु का संबंध होने पर चक्षु के द्वारा निकला हुआ अंतःकरण प्रवृत्ति स्ववृत्ति में संबंध घट अवच्छिन्न जीव चैतन्य को ही वह यह घट प्रकाशित होता है। इस रूप से घट स्वभाव के तादात्म्य रूप से ही अनुभव कराता है। अरे इट इज मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट प्रोसेस। वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फर्स्ट, then we have to practice it. How to experience? हम कुछ शब्दों में कहते हैं संबित। संबित मीन्स सम्यक रूपेण वेत्ति इति संबित, जिसको अच्छी तरह अनुभव उसमें लाया गया, जिसको जाना गया, उसको कहते हैं संबित। मतलब जो अनुभव को संबित कहते हैं। उदाहरण के लिए ये तो दिया है, परंतु इसको समझना बड़ा कठिन, बहुत ध्यानपूर्वक सुनना। मैं मान लो कहा वो पहाड़ के ऊपर देखो, अरे भूल गए, त्रयोदशी एकादशी के दिन था, देखे थे? अरे बारिश नहीं, एकादशी 2-3 दिन हो गया जाकर। एकादशी के रोज शिव जी का रूप धारण करता है। एकादशी द्वादशी के दिन, कृष्ण पक्ष का एकादशी द्वादशी के रोज हमारे पहाड़ के ऊपर जो द्वितीया के माफी चंद्रमा उदय होता है, देखना क्या स्वरूप। वो 5, 4:30, 5 बजे के अंदर देखना शिव जी का रूप। हिमालय कैसे गिरीश बनता है। चंद्रमा उदय हुआ पहाड़ के ऊपर, पूर्णमासी का चंद्रमा उदय हुआ, मैं कहा है। आप क्या समझते हैं? क्या चंद्रमा पहाड़ के ऊपर निकला? पहाड़ से निकला? ऐसा कोई समझता है क्या? पहाड़ के ऊपर चंद्रमा दिखाई दिया, इसका मतलब पहाड़ से पैदा नहीं हुआ। जैसे पेड़ पहाड़ में उगता है, ऐसा नहीं हुआ। क्या हुआ? वो चंद्रमा पहाड़ के चोटी से बहुत दूर है। वो दूरी को आप नहीं देखते हैं, आपका इंद्रियों के द्वारा वो ग्राह्य नहीं है। ना देख सकते हैं, ना सुन सकते हैं, ना स्पर्श कर सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं, ना सूंघ सकते हैं। चंद्रमा जो पहाड़ के ऊपर या पहाड़ के ऊपर कोई पत्थर मान लो जो स्थिर रूप से है, वहाँ से चंद्रमा का दूरी बहुत है। वो जो हमारे इंद्रियों के द्वारा ग्रहण योग्य नहीं है, इंद्रिय उसको ग्रहण नहीं कर सकते हैं। आँख का नाक। अब उसको आप जानते हो या नहीं, दूरी को? बोलो, मना कर सकते हो क्या? उसी को जानना जिसको कोई प्रमाण नहीं दिया जा सकता है, जिसको इंद्रियों के द्वारा देखा नहीं जा सकता है, उसको कहते हैं अनुभव संबित, सम्यक ज्ञान। आई समझ में? See, I said the moon is rising on the mountain top. So if I said so, do you think the moon has come from inside the mountain and being visible on the top of the mountain? Do you think so? You know the mountain top is something else and the moon is something else, and that is far away, far away from the mountain top. There is a distance. Don't you know it? And can you give any proof for it? That distance is there, and how much distance is? Can you? Have you got any proof? Can you express it? No, by no means. But you know it. You understand it. You cannot deny. That experience is called real experiential truth, which cannot be expressed, which cannot be proved, which cannot be defined. It is there. You know it. That is called experience. And we call it a thorough knowledge or the real knowledge, unchanging knowledge, experiential knowledge. Understood now? उसको हम नाम देते हैं संबित, उसी को सत्य मानते हैं। जो है उसके लिए कोई प्रमाण नहीं, which is. Everybody knows it, but there is no proof, there is no simile, no example, no logic, no expression, no definition, which is beyond all these. Understood now how is the truth? So उसी को ये जीव को भी वैसे ही तुम्हारे अनुभव में चढ़ाते हैं. What is called a jiva being. The being is which has become, that means which is existing. You cannot deny its existence. So what is existence? Which cannot be proved, nor can be defined, nor can be expressed. That is called being. And being does exist. Give it any form, give it any name, give it any, express it by any term, any language, that doesn't matter. It is there. So your expression has got no value, but you know it. That is how you have to understand the being. जो जीव है वो है, और उसको हम अलग अलग रूप में देखें तो व्यष्टि जीव मान लो, इकट्ठा देख सकते हैं तो समष्टि जीव है. जैसे शरीर को हम हमेशा यही उदाहरण हम देते हैं, जैसे शरीर को हम इकट्ठा कभी देख ही नहीं सकते हैं. देखना मतलब सीमित है, सीमांकित हो गया देखना. तो उसको देखने मतलब एक को देखें तो दूसरा नहीं दिखता है. When we see something, the other thing is not seen. So seeing means, visualizing means it is limited expression. It cannot be unlimited. So limited means when one is seen, the other is unseen, is unaware of. So it is defective. वो यही कह रहा है कि जिस पदार्थ जो पदार्थ का जो असाधारण स्वरूप है, उस पदार्थ में उस रूप से स्थित उसी जीव को ही आप जानिए. Suppose this is something, it is something. So know this to be this. No other example can be given for this. Understood now? Nothing else can become this. So know it as you like, as you see it as this, that is this. So this is the only language we can use. We cannot use other terms for it. This is like this. एक बढ़िया कहानी सुनो. आज कहानी तो सुनना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो ये अधूरा रह जाएगा. A small story to understand this. This is like this. On this there is a story, a beautiful story. No language can express this. Two persons, they were very close friend to each other, very close friend. From a distant village, from the capital town of the king, far off village, they were illiterate people, they didn't know anything, they didn't see the king, they didn't see the capital town, and they didn't know anything about the capital and king and all the people living in the town. And among those two, one was ordinary villager and other was the village chief. The village chief. The village chief means he is supposed to know many things better than ordinary villager, isn't it? He is supposed to know. He ought to know. Both were friends. One day they planned, the capital town is far off. We have not seen in our life how must be king and how must be the inhabitants in the town and how do they behave, how do they eat, how do they walk, how do they speak, are they dressed up. We don't know anything. Let us go one day and visit. We should have some knowledge. We are getting old. One day we shall go. They chalked out a plan. And one day they started early in the morning. They had some foodstuffs for the way, and they went, and somehow or other they reached the town. They got nearer to the town, and they inquired, "Oh, the town is there. We are coming to the outer skirts of the town. Be careful. Get alert. We are nearing the town." And the village head was going ahead, and the common villager, he was afraid. We are nearing the town. We don't know what will be happening. So get alert. The common man was following behind, and he was looking at distant town. Oh, something white buildings or something. We are getting nearer. Be careful. So as they came little more nearer to the town, the common villager, he saw something. something gigantic figure is coming towards these two persons. He, with a little fear, he comes to the head, village head. Oh my dear, are you able to see something gigantic at a distance? Are you able to see it? Yes, I am able to see it. What is that? That is that. Because he has not seen it. He said, yes, I see it. That is like that. You fool, don't speak. People will think you are ignorant person. People will think you are savage, villager. Don't speak. See, that is that. That is like that. They come little nearer. Oh, friend, are you able to see it clearly? Something so gigantic, like a rock. It is something. What is that? And see, some 4 pillars are moving like machine. 4 pillars are attached to it and it is moving frontward and behind. It is moving and it is proceeding towards us, coming towards us. What is that? And how it has such 4 things? So the head says, yes, he is a knowledgeable person. So he says, yes, my dear, this is like that. And you see, such a thing will have such 4 things and it will have such movements. You know, keep quiet, see it. This is like this and such things will have 4 things like this. They came still nearer. Oh my friend, see, something, 2 fans are moving on the top of it. What are those? How it is moving? You fool, I told you, don't talk. See, such a thing will have 4 such things and such 2 things, moving 2 things. Don't you know we are nearing the capital town? Such things are available here because it is capital. So they again come nearer. Oh my friend, see, a snake like something going up, coming this side, that is. What is going on? What is this? I cannot understand. How can this will have so many things like this? So the villager says, my dear, keep quiet. We are nearing the capital town. Such things will be many here, many different such things. And such thing will have such 4 things and such 2 things and such 1 thing like this going up, coming down. Such things will have such thing. You fool, don't you understand this? This is the language of expression. Understood now? What was that?
It is like this. That is that.
It is like this, it will have like this, such 4 things, such 2 things, such 1 thing. It is like this, it will have this. This is the language to express this. So understand, the being is like this and it will be like this. the universal being is like this, and individual being is like this. Understood now? Understood? Yes.
Like this only.
About half a dozen of blind fellows went to see how the elephant. Some said elephant is big, like just a big pan. Some said elephant is just like a tree. Some said no, it is just like a snake. Some said no, it is just like a pan. So when one thing is seen, the other is not seen. How can you know the truth? This is how the being is, the universal being is, and we are. Now, tomorrow we shall see how to understand this. हरि ओम। समझ में आ गया भाई? वो जीव कैसा होता है?
आप समझा दिए तो वो हम समझ गए।
जीव हाँ,
आप समझा दिए तो हम समझ गए।
ऐसा को ऐसा होता है। हाँ जी, ऐसा को ऐसा 4 होगा, ऐसा 1 होगा, ऐसा 2 होगा, पीछे ऐसा 1 होगा। ये ऐसा ऐसा होगा। ऐसा को ऐसा होता है कि नहीं? इतना समझ में नहीं आता है क्या यार? बोलने वाले के पास कोई लैंग्वेज नहीं, सुनने वाले के पास कोई लैंग्वेज नहीं, समझने के पास कोई लैंग्वेज नहीं। लैंग्वेज इज सच यूजलेस। हम कहेंगे पंगु। भाषा जो होता है वो पंगु है। हाँ जी, कुछ नहीं कर सकता है। मीनिंगलेस, यूजलेस, होपलेस। Language is not to be understood, not the medium of understanding.
वही भाषा आप ले तो
हाँ जी,
मेरे को गाली दे तो गुस्सा आएगा, आप मेरे को वही भाषा से हो जाएगा।
और क्या? There is no language which can give you understanding.
यूजलेस नहीं, यूजलेस।
Useless,
यूजलेस।
yes. Use it less. As less as can you.
यूजलेस।
So tomorrow we shall see it, how to realize the being, and when one being is realized, individual being is realized, it is easy to realize the universal being because it is within itself. When you know a drop of water, you know its odor, color, and shape and size and name, everything, you will know what is called lake. It will be easy for you to know what is called water and what is called lake, what is called ocean. Tomorrow we shall see Hari Om. Sorry for taking little more time. हम क्या करें? फंसा दिए आप। हरि ओम। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय, सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय, शब्द ब्रह्म की जय, सरस्वती महारानी की जय, जोग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि